Well, guys, good evening. It's not really the sort of thing I want to do live. Just want to first of all announce that there's no going to be no live commentary tonight for so obvious reasons of Man City Tottenham at Wembley tonight. After the 2 days we've had, it just seems so inappropriate. And tonight it's a tribute to the man who's sadly passed away. He was the Leicester City owner, Vichai Srivaddhanaprabha or Bar. I don't know how you pronounce it, so apologies for the mispronunciation. He was confirmed late last night, to be one of four or five people killed in that tragic helicopter crash in Leicester on Saturday night. Not long after the Fox had drawn 1-1 with West Ham at the King Power Stadium, again that we covered, a game that I commentated on, and I was brutally unaware of until Ross Burnham rang me up and told me the news, and I looked on the BBC News channel and I was appalled. Russ says, good evening. Hiya, Russ. Russ was actually down to do the commentary tonight, but due to circumstances, it's been a long weekend for everybody concerned. It just doesn't seem right to do the football tonight, and there's other factors I've got to factor in as well. I hope you guys understand it. I'm just emotionally drained because it's an event that even though I covered the game off tube, it was still touching me because it still touched my life or made me think, because I covered the game. I came off that night thinking I've done a fantastic job. The second half, it flowed like a commentator's dream. I came off that night thinking I'd done a fantastic commentary of the second half. It flowed. There was no mistakes. It seemed I wanted to convey the enjoyment. We were having good banter on the chat, and then around about an hour later, I get a call from Russ telling me what's happened, and I was devastated. In fact, when I came off, later that night, I cried because I couldn't believe what had happened. But I want to pay tribute to man, and you can pay tribute tonight. I'm here till about 7 o'clock, so we're on for about 20 minutes or so. So if you want, in this time that we have to pay your respects, you can do that in the chat, in the live chat. But the man was an absolute godsend to Leicester City. He bought the club 8 years ago when they'd just come up from the old third tier. They just won promotion They brought back Nigel Pearson. They went up in 2014 as champions of the Championship from Burnley. Under Nigel Pearson, they survived in one of the greatest escapes I've ever seen in the Premier League history. It was just unbelievable. And then an even bigger miracle, when there were 5,000 to 1 outsiders, he oversaw, along with Claudio Ranieri, one of the great pieces of sporting fairy tales this country and the sporting world will never ever see ever again. Leicester City, 5,000 to 1 outsiders in 2016, won the Premier League, and then the next year they nearly did the same in the Champions League. They reached the quarterfinals before bravely bowing out to Atletico Madrid in a fantastic quarterfinal. So already comments flowing in straight away. Absolutely anonymous. Good evening to you, mate. It has been a surreal 2 days. It has to be said. Rest in peace to a great man who did great things for ordinary everyday folk. His Leicester Premier League title-winning team will go down in history. A great legacy. Yes, he leaves a fantastic legacy. Not just at Leicester City Football Club, as he points out, but of course in the city of Leicester. He united a city that had been probably divided for many, many years. It was a football club that was down on its former self. It hadn't had major success since the turn of the millennium when Martin O'Neill was the manager, and they won a couple of league cups. But they hadn't had huge footballing success. They never won the FA Cup. As I said, they won 3 League Cups, and that was about the world. And not only that, he was a very charitable, very generous man. He didn't just bankroll Leicester City. He gave millions and millions of pounds to local charities, hospitals, cancer hospices, you name it in Leicester. He done any charitable fund in Leicester. He gave to that town, to that city. He was like the pillar of the Leicester community, and he came from Thailand, which makes it all the more remarkable. He was just a fantastic, generous man, and you know, I hope they give him. It would be nice if he got a posthumous honorary knighted, because, or give him a statue, because what he has done for that city is is um, is beyond anything that could have possibly happened in Leicester's wildest dreams. It was just unbelievable. And not only that, he treated the fans brilliantly well. He gave them, I think he gave out one season 43 season tickets, where 40 lucky fans got season tickets for free. He was also generous to the away fans. He laid on coaches free of charge for the Leicester fans to travel. He laid on free beer. He laid on donuts. He laid on free scarves. The man was just an absolute generous, generous soul. And he sounds to me, from what the tributes I've been hearing and reading, he was one of life's nice guys. And I think, you know what? I usually come on here at some point and criticise my team's performance. I'm a Burnley fan, as you all know, and we had a bad defeat yesterday. But it just really paled into insignificance what happened the night before, because we'd only lost a football match. We lost 4-0 to Chelsea, but we'd only lost a football match. There was no death, there was no tragedy involved. It wasn't a disaster. We lost 4-0, but it wasn't worth getting pent up and upset about. And you probably heard me convey that in the commentary, because I have to be honest with you, I didn't want to go through with the commentary from Burnley yesterday. I really didn't, because of what happened the night before. But it was how it had to be done. And what a great guy. What a great guy. And a sad loss to the community of Leicester and to the footballing community. We'll never see the likes of his sort, I'm afraid, ever again. But what a legacy he now leaves, not just Leicester City Football Club, but the city of Leicester as well, I have to say. Over course, the wife and son of the Leicester owner laid a wreath at the club stadium, and he was also killed alongside 4 others. So there was 5 in total to have died on Saturday. There was 2 members of staff, the helicopter pilot, and a passenger, and it all happened, of course, after it took off outside from the centre circle of the KP Stadium, about 90 minutes after the final whistle had gone at the stadium on Saturday, when, of course, as I said, the Foxes drew 1-1. And now I have to also bring you some more news, that a team that has been investigating, air crash investigation team that have been investigating, have recovered the digital flight data recorder. That's the recorder that's often used in plane and aviation crashes. Leicestershire Police have now named the other people involved in the crash as Uzaro Zumanaki, Kavaporn Ponare, pilot Eric Swaffer, and his actual partner Isabella Rosa Likovic. And they were the other 4 people that were in that ill-fated flight on Saturday. Now, the club chairman's wife, Amon, and his son, Iwat, were in Leicester today outside the shrine that has now been built with flowers, that is littered with flowers, Leicester shirts, rosettes, scarves, you name it, it's all there. They were actually joined at the ground by the president of the Thai FA, Sumat Paparamong, and his wife. The Leicester players were also involved. Claude Puel joined his players. Our vice chairman, Iowat returned to see the tributes. The family, in fact, had met players inside the stadium before leaving the wreath outside. And as you can probably imagine, it's all been rather shocking. Peter Shilton, who was at the match on Saturday, he was leaving with his wife, and he saw the helicopter spiraling down. And he said today that he's in shock, and he's still and more so helpless. And he's also gone on to say that it's something that will live with us forever, and it's one of the most horrendous things anybody could ever see. He started his career, incidentally, at Leicester and played in the 1969 FA Cup final. Also, personalities from sport and entertainment industries have been outside the stadium, including the lead singer of Leicester rock band Kasabian. That's Tom Megan. Mr. Megan, who joined grieving supporters, said of the club owner, "It was like losing a member of your family." Club ambassador, former Leicester player Aaron Birchenow, said Leicester City owed everything to Mr. Vichai. There will not be a dry eye amongst any of the staff today. Now, a book of condolences. Anybody who's listening to this, who lives in Leicester, you might want to listen to this next bit. A book of condolences will be opened at the King Power Stadium from Tuesday morning onwards, so that's tomorrow morning. And the match against Southampton in the League Cup that was scheduled for tomorrow night has now been postponed, so there'll be no League Cup tie the next day. Most of the players have paid tribute to the owner on social media, including the club captain Chris Morgan. He tweeted, "Absolutely heartbroken and devastated regarding the news of our chairman, a man that was loved and adored by everybody here at Leicester City." Jamie Vardy also tweeted, "Struggling to find the right words, but to me, you are a legend, an incredible man who had the biggest heart, the soul of Leicester City Football Club. Thank you for everything you did for us." Well, really nice touch from Jamie Vardy there. I do apologise. There are emails flooded in. Also, in a statement that Leicester City said the club's thoughts are with the family and the families of those on board at the time of this unspeakable loss. And earlier today, the Duke of Cambridge, Prince William, led the tributes, calling him a dedicated family man. He also went on to say that Mr. Vichai made a massive contribution to football, adding that Leicester City's Premier League winning season captured the imagination of the world. Prime Minister Theresa May said the outpouring of grief is a testament to how many people's lives were touched by those on board. Jose Regombia, whose wife and two sons died in an explosion at their home nearby in February, has called Mr. Vichai a great person after he gave his family loose at the stadium for the funeral. He also said that Mr. Vichai was very close to close fans. He really gave his all to Leicester City and Leicester as a whole, he added. Mr. Srivaddhanaprabha and the pilot had over 20 years flying experience as a private jet and helicopter pilot. His friend Lucy Morris-Marr said he was a veteran in the field and would have done all he could to prevent lives being lost in the crash. She described him as funny and a vivacious man who was in an aviation love story with Miss Lekovich, who was also a pilot herself. Not many people get to work and travel with their soulmate, traveling the world, going to glamorous places, she said. And the couple, in fact, lived together in Cranbury in Surrey, and Miss Lekovich moved to the UK from Poland 21 years ago. In a statement, the Polish embassy said she was a great pilot, winner of the Polka 100 contest. It contributed to the creation of a positive image in Poland in the United Kingdom. The air accident investigation branch did say that the inspectors would be at the crash site a week until the end of the week, transporting their wreckage to a specialist facility in Farnborough. In the meantime, they are still gathering evidence as part of the investigation. And the Italian aerospace company Leonardo, that's built the helicopter itself, said it was the first ever accident involving an AW169 helicopter, which was the model that crashed on Saturday, and it was ready to support the air crash investigations. Witnesses have been urged, of course, to contact the local police. That's Leicestershire Police. So that is the situation regarding that sort of thing. It's been a an emotional 3 or 4 days in Leicester, and the sadness and the tributes will always go on. But I'm going to pay tribute to a man who was a really nice, who seemed like a really nice guy. He did a lot, as I said, not just for Leicester City, but for the whole community of Leicester. Put money into charitable donations. He put money into the football club. He gave supporters everything. He gave them carte blanche. He is a hero in Leicester. He might come from Thailand, or he may have come from Thailand, but the man will always be a Leicester man, a big thing in Leicester as well. It's he was adored by the people of Leicester, and I'm sure. And I want to just say our best wishes and our sincere condolences from all football fans. It doesn't matter what team you support. From all football fans everywhere, go to their family. Certainly go to Leicester City Football Club, who have had to endure such a torrid last 72 hours. You just wouldn't believe it. It has been one of the blackest weekends I've ever seen in football for quite a long time. It's the first major thing I've had to do in 3 years, almost 3 years as a YouTube football commentator and reporter and presenter. His legacy will always live on, and the memories that he helped create in Leicester, they're memories that will last forever and a day. He may have died Saturday, but his spirit and his memories will almost without question live on. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Absolutely Anonymous. Thanks to Russ Vernon, who also goes on to say, rest in peace, may be gone, never forgotten. No truer words spoken. We will be back with League Cup action during the week, but tonight I'm just going to go and lie down and have a night off, because the weekend has been one of the most toughest I've ever had as a commentator and as a football presenter. But the main, and I have to say, the whole thing has left me with life very much put into perspective. Really, now it has to be, and it also makes one realise that you can live for today, but you could be gone tomorrow, and that's the uncertainty of life, unfortunately. And I think people need to realise now that this was a terrible tragedy. It was unfair for him to go that way. The amount of great memories he created, it shouldn't have happened this way, and it's so disappointing and so upsetting that it had to come to that. And, but my heart and everybody on this YouTube channel, myself and my colleagues Russ, of course, and of course Chris Whiteman and my other commentator. He was actually due to do the match, but was otherwise engaged. I took the job on. I'm sure the three of us who work on this channel week in, week out would like to send our heartfelt condolences to everybody at Leicester City Football Club and to the people of Leicester, and of course to the Honours family at this very, very difficult and sad time. That's about it from me. Thank you very much for watching. Well, it's been the blackest weekend in football for a very long time that I can remember, certainly in my lifetime. It is such a tragedy, and our prayers and sympathies have to go out to the people of Leicester tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Take care. Good night.